Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Once again, thank you so much for spending some time with me today. Today, again, is a little bit late, and I apologize for that. But at the same time, this has been a very interesting past couple of days for us. We had a pretty good winter storm blow through early Sunday morning, which I basically had to drive through the entire thing coming home. So my hour and a half normal drive took me almost 6.5 hours to get home. So definitely had some issues with that. I I have a four-wheel drive pickup, but my wife's four-wheel drive SUV is in the shop with a transmission that's out. So she is driving my truck and I am driving the little commuter, which is usually fine. But I usually have that option of taking my truck if there's weather that says that the car is not a good option. And so anyway, that was not available to me. And so driving home, you know, 100 miles in a lot of snow and ice it was not the best of experiences. And actually that car never made it home that day. It we I got to a hill and a curve at the same time, and it decided to go 90 degrees to the right instead of straight on the road, and ended up in a ditch. And that was obviously part of why it took me so long to get home. But anyway, it was just a mess. It was a rough morning. I was By the time I got home, I was stressed completely out and just needed to. I don't know what I needed. I was a grouch and in a bad mood, and then on top of that, to make it worse, looking forward to playing with the kids because they were excited to get out in the snow, and I had to spend basically the first hour I was home on the phone with insurance and trying to get some roadside assistance to pull it out. And it was just a mess. And that just by the time I finally got that done, I was really in a bad mood. And so anyway, I got a chance to get out and get some playing in with some of the kids, and had a pretty good day. I do want to say thank you to Kirk. He actually I he came and helped me pull my truck or my car out so that I didn't have to pay a towing bill. And so I really appreciate that. If you're listening, Kirk, thank you very much for that. But just had a chance to either be in a bad mood all day and ruin the day, or just drop it and take advantage of something that we don't normally have. It snows in Oklahoma some, but to have this much is pretty rare. I don't know what we got. It had to be at least 6 inches. But and even when we do have snow, it seems to more times than not just be worthless for anything like making snowmen and sledding and things like that. So there's some great snow. We kids actually made a couple 6 foot plus snowmen, and it's just a good time. And actually my wife and I were supposed to be at work yesterday, and both of us ended up having to stay home because we're stuck here. We didn't have any options, and roads are still bad. So that first day turned into a couple of days in the snow, and got to go out and find a good hill yesterday. And just I it's just one of those times where you can either, well, get busy with other things and kind of lose focus on the big picture and just waste that opportunity, or you can slow down and really take advantage of the situation and have fun, spend time with your family, and do some things that you don't normally get to do. And so luckily I I was able to really take advantage of some time with everybody, and it was fun. I I love that time with the family, and especially with the kids, having fun with them. And so just had a good time. And so anyway, that's kind of the reason why we're late again. I wasn't going to stop and take time to record something yesterday or even Sunday. So I knew today was going to be a decent chance to do it, and so that's how it ended up. But anyway, getting into kind of what I'm here to talk about today, it's going to be, one of those year-end kind of talks, you know, where you're at, looking back, looking forward, those type of things. And so, it's getting to be that time of year. And, I'm sure so many people have been waiting for this chance to put 2020 behind them. And really, the more I think about it, and before I say anything else, I'm one of those people too. Trust me, I have struggled my way through 2020 for sure. I have been irritated with so many things that 2020 has brought, and really been negative a lot of the time. So I am once again talking to myself. But anyway, it's it's kind of funny and interesting the more I think about kind of that mindset, because it's almost like we think, okay, all we got to do is make it to January 1st and things are going to be all right. Everything's going to be better. 2020 will be over and 2021 is going to be so much better. But what's going to change? I mean, seriously, at midnight on December 31st, what is going to change? There's not an easy button or a door that's going to open that leads you into a better year. It's not going to be on one page it's December 31st and struggling through 2020, and on the next page it's January 1st and 2021 is sunny and everything is great. It's not there's not going to be any separation in those 2 days. The day that we allow December 31st to be is going to be the day that it's going to be the same thing on January 1st. So really what I'm saying is that the day is going to be what we make it. The month is going to be what we make it. The year is going to be what we make it. And yes, 2021 has given us variables that just complicate everything and keep us from doing a lot of stuff that we want to do and accomplishing a lot of stuff that we want to do. But at the same time, those challenges should be areas of that we had a chance to grow in. And that's the mindset we got to take is, and I wrote something down earlier just to kind of try to get the best wording I could out of it. But this is what I wrote. The best opportunities for personal growth usually come from the worst circumstances we're faced with. And I think that is so true. And it's got to be true. I mean, when you are faced with struggles and trials and down times and, all these bad connotations that you can add, in that sentence, those are the best chances that we have to grow personally, just for personal growth, because that's when that growth happens. Growth doesn't happen when things are great and you're comfortable and there's nothing going on. That nobody grows in those times. Those times are great. It's awesome to have those times, but you're not growing. And so that's the mindset we got to take is, yeah, 2020 has been rough. It has hit us hard over and over again with just a seemingly nonstop. You know, a lot of people have kind of compared it to video games or movies or whatever else, but it's like, okay, we're hitting the next level. What's coming next? And I get it, and I struggle with it too. I promise. But surely you can stop and think about some of the positives that have come from it. Thinking about some of the good things that have come from some of those bad times. I've heard people say that last year some of their goals were to stay home more, to be with their family more, to spend more time with their family. Well, that's exactly what they got, but they still struggled through the year being negative about it. And that's just the way we are. People are just going to find ways to be negative if we allow ourselves to be that way. And so that's kind of the, I guess, the topic that I want to kind of umbrella over this conversation is, well, I hate the word pandemic or epidemic, and with what we've been through, it kind of makes me leery of even bringing it up. But really, I think there is a very big epidemic that we have got to start fighting, and that's the epidemic of negativity. And this is really a lot of the stuff that I continue to talk about: positivity and fighting the negativity, all that. I bring it up over and over again, but we have got to hear it over and over again. We need to hear it over and over again. So, that's, and it's not even a fire service thing. You can sit here and say, y'all, that fire service is really struggling with negativity. Oh, yeah, I totally agree with that. But it's not a fire service thing. This is a worldwide thing. The world is just waiting to take every opportunity to just envelop you in negativity. It doesn't matter where you look or what you're doing. If you allow it to seek to soak in, it's there. It's just waiting for you to give it that chance. And so it's just a constant fight to stay positive. It's a constant fight to have a better perspective and a better mindset. And so, that's kind of the thought that I want to kind of hit on today is, you know, what we have went through this year, taking a look, taking a look at the the things that we've been dealt with, the things that we have had to fight, the struggles that we have went through, all of those things. Just taking a good look at the past year, taking a good look at how we handled those situations, because I obviously am going to be the first to say that I have not handled most of them very well. I've been very honest about a lot of those things on these podcasts. I have struggled. I have messed up. I have not taken advantage of good chances, good opportunities. A lot of opportunities that I could have taken advantage of, spending time with my family more, enjoying time with them more, or you know taking advantage of certain things at work that I really should have and didn't. you know, just sit down, take it, and maybe writing it out as a good or a good option, because we're looking at a whole year. So there's a lot there, and the more you sit and think about it, I'm sure the more you're going to think about it, more you're going to remember. But just really taking a good, honest look at the year, how we handle it, what we did, and not just negative, what we handled well, what what opportunities did we take advantage of, what things did we fight through and really benefit from, what challenges did we face and conquer. Those are great to look back as well. And so that's all of this is kind of where I want to put our minds at the past, or the next couple weeks to finish out this year. Because sitting here thinking I can't wait for this year to be over is not going to do anybody any good. Because when that next year starts, if we aren't focusing on our perspective, our attitude, our just mindset, then January 1st is going to start exactly like every other day has ended. We have got to face these new days with a better positive attitude, better mindset, and get the best out of whatever we're faced with. And so, another thought that comes to mind when we're kind of talking about this is, everybody has the New Year's resolutions, and I've never been real big on that. I usually kind of make some quiet, to myself things that I want to work on. I'm never been big on just vocally, hey, this is what I'm going to do, and this is my resolution. Because I just see them fail over and over again. So I like to kind of challenge myself internally, but I've never been a New Year's resolution person. But anyway, kind of that mentality of anything, if and it's not just New Year's, anytime that you're deciding, okay, it's time to make a change. I am ready to make a change. I'm going to do what it takes to make a change. And really what we need to think about when those times come, what we need to prepare ourselves for when those times come, that we are ready to face this challenge, to punch this thing right in the face, is we have got to prepare ourselves to be punched in the face. Because over and over again, I've seen it, and I have felt it myself when I have been in that spot. When we are ready to make these changes, when we're ready to, start a diet and stick to it, or start a mindset change of focusing on positivity, or if we create a vision of a culture that we want to start creating, anything that we're getting ready to, fight a fight, or make a change, or anything like that, as soon as we make that decision, we are going to be faced with struggles, faced with punches to the face, faced with, whatever problem comes up to fight that. If just taking a diet as an example, diet's easy to just kind of sit and role play out. If you decide that, all right, tomorrow tomorrow is a new day, I am starting a diet, we're going to get things right, I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to get fit, whatever it is, as soon as you do that, the next day you go to the station, there's going to be sweets all over the place. People are going to be bringing sweets in, and you're going to have to face that struggle. You're going to have to face that opportunity to fail. It's just the way it is. If For me, just personally, just a very easy example that I could share to kind of speak to this is my vision for the culture of my crew. I get fired up when I talk to these amazing fire service people over, my days off, and so excited to come into work, and so excited to do what's necessary to make these changes, and just step up. And before I even sit down to eat breakfast, I've been hit so hard with negativity from, other people, or, what rules have come down since we were off, or, this or that's going on, and this sucks. And I've been hit so hard with all of this stuff that even before I sit down to eat breakfast, I have lost almost all of that drive. And so that's what I should be expecting, that, because that's exactly what I'm talking about. When we decide to do good, well, for lack of better terms, evil is going to confront us. And so we have to be prepared for that. We have to know it's coming, because it will. And so that's what we got to really set our mind on, is that it's great to have these these resolutions or these changes that we know we're ready to make and we know we need to make, and it's time to do it. That's great, but you have got to prepare yourself to be knocked down as soon as that happens, especially right at first, because that's when, you know, it it's so easy to be excited about these changes. But if you get punched in the face right when you're starting out, it's like, gosh, I haven't even started yet and I'm already, getting beat down. Why even try? And so it's just a thought to really kind of bring something to mind that I know we all struggle with. And so if this is something that you're ready to do, there's something coming up that you're ready to fight, ready to change, just be ready. Be ready to face struggles, be ready to face setbacks, be ready to get knocked down. But that doesn't mean that you need to stay there. You also need to be prepared to get back up, to continue the fight, to keep pushing forward. You know, anything you do for a good reason, you're going to find opposition for it, against. I mean, you're going to have people that are trying to take that from you, and you have got to protect it. You've got to protect your passion, your drive, your positivity. Protect it, fight for it, and keep driving forward, keep pushing, keep doing good things. And so really, we're kind of getting to the point where I've said about all I can say without kind of going back over it, and that's what I really try to avoid. I don't want to continue to beat things into the ground, but just to go over kind of what I talked about, to maybe give you some things to think about this week and really the next couple weeks as we're ending out 2020 is, you know negativity is a true epidemic that is out there. We have got to fight it. We have got to do what we can to stay positive, to focus on the good things, focus on what's going on that we can be proud of, focus on the growth that's potentially out there. Fight that negativity, fight that epidemic. Another thing is there's no button that's going to make the January 1st better. Making January 1st better resides in us. It's the opportunity for a better year resides in if we are ready to do the work to make it better, if we're ready to focus on the positive to make it better. So it's all us. And the going back to what I talked about earlier, my thoughts on the personal growth, and I'll say it again, is the best opportunities we have for personal growth usually come from the worst circumstances that we're faced with. And so as bad as whatever we have faced, as whatever negative things that you have had to fight through this year, I know that there's a lot of us out there that feel that way, that could fill up books of all the bad. Let's focus on the good. Let's focus on what we can grow at when we're facing these bad things, areas that we can grow and just really start to excel and take advantage of those times. So I hope you have a great week. Look forward to seeing you again on Thursday. And until then, take care and stay safe.